welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cynthia, and we're just gonna get started into the video because it's gonna take a while. So back in 2011, me and my boyfriend found out we were pregnant, and I found out by my friend buying me a pregnancy test. And I remember going to her house and taking it, and I needed a test because I missed my period and I was like nauseous and sleeping all the time. And so my friend at the time, we'll name her Jessica, she bought me a test. So me and Carlos walked to her house and so I could take the test. And me and her in the bathroom, and I remember peeing on it and seeing the lines pop up and just kind of not, I don't quite remember how I felt, but I know that I was scared, and I know that I was scared to tell my mom. So I remember walking out and showing Carlos, and him just kind of not really knowing what to say. I kind of forgot how he reacted. I remember the mom talked to us asking us like what we were gonna do, and in my head I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm scared to tell my mom. I'm terrified of what's gonna happen with everything. So I ended up not telling my mom. My mom found out because she's an investigator and she noticed I didn't start my period. So we ended up taking a test. And I remember when my mom seen those lines pop up, she just started crying. And I gave her a hug and I was crying with her. I mean, I knew I was pregnant, but like, you know, being with my mom finding out I'm pregnant, I felt ashamed, and I felt like I I felt like a failure. Like, I felt stupid, you know? And adoption was brought up, and I was scared. So it was something that I was like, okay, like, I've never really heard of an adoption. I remember hearing about it on Teen Mom and kind of seeing, and I was trying to, like, and when I decided to do adoption, it took a minute. In my head, I was thinking me and Carlos could be a perfect family, and not really thinking about my daughter and how I'm going to provide for her. It was just me thinking about the image, you know, that I have his baby. And so I remember I wanted it kind of like that girl Caitlin's, where you see them on holidays and you get pictures of them. And I remember, so I was on probation. Me and Carlos, we were both on probation at the time, and I was terrified to tell my probation officer because she was not the nicest, which I thank her for that because I would never want to be put on probation again. So I had to tell her. My mom told her, and my mom was like, and we're gonna be doing adoption, so we're looking into it. And she's like, oh, well, this couple just came in to drop off their portfolio because a lot of girls on probation, they come through, you know, looking to like place their baby and stuff like that. So I read this portfolio of the family, and I just started bawling, just like that. Yeah, just like that. And I what the? And I felt comfort, and I felt like this was the family for my daughter. And I remember I called them, and the mom answered, and I was like, I'm Hispanic, and I want you to adopt my baby. And I don't quite remember like what was said, just because this was 10 years ago, so you can't really remember everything that was said. But I can say that me and the mom, I felt very close to her already in such a short time. And I remember meeting them and feeling comfortable around them, and just feeling comfort and love between us, and just, you know. And we got more close. We got more close through time. During my pregnancy, and during my pregnancy, it was really hard. I was bullied a lot. I was known as the pregnant girl who's doing adoption, and I thought in my head, like, I'm always going to be known as her, like, you know? And a lot of people thought I was lying and didn't believe I was pregnant, and just really rude. Really, really rude. I've had people, like, just say some hurtful things, like, is my baby still alive, while I was pregnant? Just really hurtful things, and it was hard going into my freshman year, like, starting off my freshman year pregnant. It was the hardest, because no one knows you, and so it's like you come in as the pregnant girl, you know? I got looked at a lot, and a lot of the teachers gossiped, and they made me uncomfortable, except for one teacher. He was so nice, and he was just the nicest teacher while I was pregnant. A lot of the other ones were kind of, well, there was two teachers that were nice. A couple that were rude, you know, like, but it's fine. I didn't expect to be treated differently. Just, I don't know, maybe just don't be so rude that I'm pregnant. I mean, this wasn't a planned pregnancy, you know? So during my pregnancy, it was really hard, and I was put on high risk because I was so small. I was 93 pounds at the time, so I was really, 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 really small. And I had her when I was 34 weeks, and I remember I called a week before because I had went into labor, and I remember I believe it was her birthday. I was like, I am so sorry to ruin your birthday, but I'm in labor. And they were there instantly, and her sister brought me things, the adoptive mom's sister brought me things, and trying to make my stay at the hospital more comfortable because I was there for about a week. And it was like the experience of me being pregnant was probably like the hardest. I was honestly kind of terrified, but it was hard for me to bond. It really was, because I knew, you know, I knew I wasn't gonna bring her home with me, so I didn't want to bond with her and end up, like, you know, I just thought it'd be easier just to feel like I was carrying their baby. That kind of is what I put in my head to help me. And I remember when I went into labor on Valentine's Day, and I called them, and I was like, I am so sorry to, like, ruin your guys'. So I remember calling them and telling them, and I was only in labor for 6 hours. So I went there, my sac was broke, so when I went, you're just trying to be the star of the show, huh? She's like, yeah, I am. So I was scared. I was terrified. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know about labor. I know that I handled it really good, surprisingly. Really, really good. And the epidural really good. Like, my labor was a really nice experience considering the fact that I was a teenager. So I had her at 7:33, and the doctor was amazing. There's only supposed to be one person, I believe, but they let the mom and my mom, or no, my mom wasn't in there. Was she in there? I think so. I think my mom was in there. The mom that I placed with, and then Carlos was in there, and the dad was in the, like, so when you have early labor, they have you in a different room so where they can pass the baby through, like, this window to get the fast you know, because the baby's, you know, yeah, I can't explain it. But anyways, so I remember just bawling, and she was very easy to push out. She was 4 pounds, so it was a breeze. And she was perfect. She was off the oxygen that first night. I remember looking at her and just, like, not, you know, it took a minute to hit me, like, this is my baby. Like, she was just perfect. And after it was really hard, you know, like, leaving the hospital. But, like, she was in the NICU, so it wasn't, like, as hard, but it was still hard. And, I, just trying to make sure. I remember thinking, like, oh, you know, I didn't answer why I chose adoption. I chose adoption because I wanted to give my baby a better life. And I felt like me being 14, I couldn't. And I didn't want her to go through things that I had to go through and deal with things that, you know, because I was still a kid myself. I didn't want her to go through what I went through and having to go through things with me. I wanted her to have 2 parents who were ready for a baby and wanted a baby because they couldn't have kids. They tried for so long, and in my heart, I knew what I was doing was the right thing. But it was hard. Like, some people probably are looking like, it was probably easy. Like, I don't think it matters whether you place or you decide to keep the baby. It's hard. It is so hard. And those moms that have babies at such a young age and boss up, like, you are amazing. And you need to give yourself more credit because being a teen mom is flipping hard. I had my second at 18, so I can only imagine people who are 14, 15 having kids. I can only imagine. And right now, I still see her, and our relationship is, we're so close to each other. People be so confused on how we're so close, and they can't wrap their head around it. Because when I mean close, I mean close. Like, I'll spend the night. The mom and me have, like, this sister connection. I feel like she's my older sister. I feel like I can tell her anything and no judgment. And she just gives me this unconditional love, and I just love her. And I honestly couldn't imagine my life without that family or my daughter. It's like I gained another family, and it's like she gained another mom and dad because we're all so close. We're literally so close, and everything we do for her, and we put her best interests at heart. And she's amazing. She's so smart. She's almost as tall as me. I'm pretty short, but she looks just like me and Carlos. Like, if you formed us, it would be my daughter. She is perfect, and I just love her. And I this amazing little girl. And it wasn't easy. You know, it wasn't. And it's crazy to think about, like, that I have 4 kids. And some people, you know, it was hard because it's like, you have 4 kids, but I only see 3. So there's days where it's hard. And sometimes I do think, like, if I would have kept her, you know? And I'm sure a lot of birth moms think that. But at the same time, I'm happy that she was raised in a good home, and she is being raised in a good home. And I know some people won't understand, and that's fine, because this isn't your story to understand. You know, this is my story, I'm not gonna force anybody to understand. But everybody in my life who matters to me, they understand and they get it. And that's all I need, is for the people that I love to understand and to get it, because everybody's gonna have their opinions. And when I was younger, it was harder to listen to, but now that I'm older, it's easier. I'm just like, whatever, you know. I love my daughter, and you can think A, B, C, and D, but at the end of the day, I know my feelings, and my daughter knows that I love her, and adoption has done a lot of things for me, and it's something that I don't regret, and something that is unique about me, I feel like. And she's like a treasure, so if I ever bring someone around her, like, just know that, you know, I don't know how to explain, like, she's a treasure, so if I bring you around her, you better appreciate it, because I don't just bring anybody around her, because she's too perfect, you know. And so, you see her, this is kind of how my daughter looked as a little baby. Yes. 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 So anyways, thank you for watching, and if you don't understand, that's fine, you don't have to. But, if you could like, comment, and share, that would be great. And I will be filming another video here soon. Thank you for watching, and have a good day, guys. And a good Halloween.